What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not Bitcoin has bottomed, because I see so many comments all over the place thinking, you know, the bottom is in, the bottom is in. Other YouTubers, friends of mine even, really want to believe that the bottom is in. And okay, I get it. I get why a lot of people think and are led to believe that the Bitcoin bottom is in. Maybe it is. Okay, I'll leave that out there. Maybe it is. I'm always right sometimes. But I'm going to go over quite a few different indicators that are showing that the bottom is in. And I'm going to show you also why it's bunk, in my opinion. None of this is financial advice. Don't trade on anything. I'm telling you right now, every single one of us on YouTube only knows what we've seen before. That's pretty much the gist of it. And I want to keep things very, very clear, because a lot of us love to sit around and study history, graphs, charts, numbers, on-chain metrics, so forth and so on, right? We that's what we do. We sit around, we read this stuff, we look at it, we study it, and we try to present information to you to help you make educated decisions moving forward. You've got to do your own research. This cycle, in my opinion, is unlike anything ever seen before. Because of that, the market is being shaken up across all fronts. This isn't like the traditional stock market is in a continuation of a bull market of 10 years and everything's hunky-dory, and Bitcoin is this outlying asset where we're just basically vying for capital to boost up the price, business as usual in a new market cycle based off of supply and demand and on-chain metrics. It's just different. I don't know how else to stress this to everybody. This is different. The global climate on on every conceivable level is different. Economically, everything is different. It doesn't matter what indicators we want to look at and try and justify our hopium and say the bottom is in, we're going up from here. I see this ad nauseum everywhere, and it's almost making me sick, but I get it. I get it. This is just me, okay? I feel like, once again, I'm kind of an outlier out here, basically saying that I believe we're in for at least another significant leg down at some point this year, likely within the next quarter, okay? Maybe this half of the year. 2023 is, in my opinion, going to be the year of the bottom. And I'm going to go over some of this stuff, and I'm going to explain some of it. Maybe I'm wrong. I've already started averaging in, so I don't really give a shit. I'm just going to be real upfront. Everybody knows when I started averaging in. I haven't made any big purchases of any crypto assets since then. I just wanted to feel comfortable knowing that anything in the market could change, and I'm okay. Regardless, here we go. Now, first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at this Bitcoin rainbow chart, okay? And if you look at this, this is basically like on a you know, it's kind of like a logarithmic curve kind of deal, and it's ultimately showing the highs and lows and the peaks and flows of Bitcoin since inception. And if we're looking at this rainbow chart, you can see pretty much every market cycle we have peaked in the red. So with extreme volatility came these significant peaks into the red. Okay. And you can see that here. You can see we kind of went into it here, here, here. And then you see this. This is abnormal for Bitcoin's price action historically on every level. We never broke into the red. We had a two-peak cycle. This two-peak cycle very much matched what we saw in the NASDAQ charts of 2007 and on, which I've demonstrated and showed many, many times. And we just, how has this lack of volatility changed this market, and why? Those are the questions. What is happening in the world today and has been happening in the world since these market peaks? How has the complete economic and financial paradigm on a global level changed since, I don't know, what is this, 2021? But this all started really in like 2020, has it not? How many changes on between small business, medium-sized business, so many things have changed in the world, okay, and continue to change. Long term, I believe this is all significantly positive changes for the crypto space, okay? But this is just like, in the movie Roadhouse, right, with Patrick Swayze, and he's trying to clean up the double douche. And he basically says, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think that's kind of what's happening here. We're seeing so many things iron out and so many different things change in the market, and the way we are handling finance is changing. And I think that's what's happening. To some degree, it's level of uncertainty. It's a level of hope from the believers, uncertainty from the non-believers, because they don't understand crypto. They just understand that things are changing in the world, but they don't fully understand why. So this is the rainbow chart. We never really peaked down too deep into this blue. So not only did we not hit the red, but we didn't go down too deep into the blue. And I think that there's more to come. But according to this, once you dip so far into the blue, maybe that's considered the market bottom is in. I disagree, but we'll move forward. This is the MVRV. And I'm not going to get deep into this. You can read it on your own. It explains everything that it is. But ultimately, every time we've bottomed here, we have not only hit deep into this green zone, but we've always dipped under it. We've we have legitimately dipped under this green zone every time, even if it's just a little bit. And with us right now, we haven't yet. This has not happened. If you look here, this is 2018, December 2018. This is, I think Bitcoin was around $4,000 or so around this time. We dipped under this green zone. Here we dipped under the green zone, way under the green zone back in 2011. Here we have not. We have not dipped at all under this green zone, not even a little bit. We have a ways to go. I think we will in 2023. So as far as the MVRV Z-score, which has been highly accurate for calling Bitcoin bottoms, we have not met previous metrics related to a bottoming. Okay. So it don't know what else to tell you on that. Okay. But it is what it is. Now we're going to go even further down this rabbit hole. We're going to get rid of those websites. Now we're going to go through some others here. First one we're going to look at is Bitcoin on a weekly chart. And let's see here. Actually, we're going to look at this one, I think. So right now, according to this, we have already bottomed. This is a 200 weekly moving average. Generally speaking, the 200 weekly moving average keeps the price above in a bull market and dips down a bit when we've bottomed. Okay, we see it back here. This is March of 2020. Let's see here. I mean, we didn't close under it, so that doesn't really mean anything. But if you look historically, we closed below that, and then it's considered a bottom. So by this metric, if we were to go for a full close under, this would be about right here. Okay. So according to this metric, if we were to count the close under the 200 weekly moving average, we would have bottomed out somewhere around $20,000. Don't think that's accurate, is it? Because we've gone significantly lower. If you were to look down here, where we started to get close to this, we wicked down to 17.7. Don't think that was accurate either. All of these indicators, in my opinion, have gone completely bunk in the current climate of economics on a global scale. That's all I'm trying to point out. That we love to use these indicators. I love to use these indicators for different things all throughout history. Since 2017, I've looked at a lot of them, and the majority of them have been very accurate. But given where we're at in the world today, these indicators, in my opinion, are bunkus. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It's bunkus. Now, you can look at the pi cycle bottom indicator, which has been previously accurate. Well, according to this, we peaked out again around $21,000. I don't think that's accurate. I think we're already lower than that. You get what I'm saying? Am I making sense? There's just too much. Now, look here at the RSI. This is the weekly RSI. Oh, looks like we had a bottom here and we were in the $20,000 range. Let's see here. We had another bottom hit here. That's what these green lines are. All the different places where we've supposedly bottomed over the last, since like June of 2022. Okay. And then we got this one here. Now, what we did get is we got this this cross under, or this close under in the 200 weekly moving average, and that was fine, but we obviously didn't bottom there because we continued moving lower. We got another bottom hit in the RSI in November, literally my birthday, and that has been the most accurate yet. It's like the second or third over a period of time. And now we've gone sideways a bit since then on these weekly candles, and I believe we're going sideways to prepare for another significant leg down while the hopium is trying to drive everybody in. I don't think that's happening, folks. Now, what else do we have here? We had the total market cap. Well, yes, that hit, but didn't mean anything. Pi cycle indicator, that hit a long time ago. That obviously didn't mean anything. There's all kinds of stuff. The MVRV Z score indicator has not hit yet. If we look at this, we're going to pull this RSI down, and you can see here that from peak to bottom, supposed bottom, we are currently sitting at around 77% down. Historically, we've almost always come down around 85%. We haven't even broken through the 80 percentile range yet. So if we were to get down to the 85% that we're used to seeing historically in a drawdown in a bear market, we would be sitting at around $10,400. Okay? $10,400 would be a bottom that would make the most historical sense given what we've seen in the past. We haven't seen that yet. So given the MVRV Z score has not dropped down below the green zone as it has in previous markets, the price has not fallen to give us a typically, predicted 85% decline from the peak. Those two indicators have not happened yet. A lot of these other indicators have all hit at various times, all at prices that have not held in terms of, well, it peaked up here and the bottom hit around $20,000. We hit even lower. Okay, we've gone down as low as like 15 and a half, and that's not low enough. That's not low enough to make a lot of these other more significant metrics trigger. So it is what it is. Weekly RSI has hit multiple times, and that hasn't been effective. So, and on top of that, you can see the SPX, which obviously isn't like Bitcoin necessarily, but we have been in this downtrend pattern for some time now. This is going back to roughly December of 2021 into January. So the entire last year, the SPX has been, or the S&P 500, has been in a downward trend. And, we've broken above it a couple of times for very, very brief periods, but away we go. And if you were to look at the Cardano price has done the same thing. If anything, this recent pump in the Cardano price was just catching it up to where it should have been a little bit more naturally given the overall state of the crypto market. So when I say that the bottom is not yet in, folks, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I haven't even looked at any of these. I really haven't. I just started looking at a lot of these today because I'm like, I see what's going on in the world. I see what's happening on a global level. I see all of this stuff happening, and yet so many people want to think that the bottom is in. And we have all of these YouTubers and all of these people out there basically providing all of this hopium and giving their explanations for why they believe the bottom is in. And I also remember back in the last bull market, and then we hit the bear cycle, and I would watch Tone Vase all the time, fudding. The bottom's not in. The bottom's not in. And it used to drive me insane. And he drove everybody way past the bottom. Maybe I'm doing that now. Maybe because of what I believe I see in the market is very much like, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think I am, but that is my own personal opinion, given where we are, everything that's happening. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to look a lot of this stuff up. I'm going to look at what are all the top indicators that are explaining what the bottom is, where the bottom has been historically. Where are we at with all of that? All of them have been wrong. They've called the bottom way before the price dropped even lower, which completely negates those indicators to me. And some of the more significant ones I'm still waiting to hit. I really do believe the bottom is going to be somewhere around $10,000, and we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to give you guys some data, some real stuff that you can look at, look up on your own, and decide for yourself. Here's what I know: the price the price difference between where we're at now and $10,000 is about $7,000. Okay, if I were to average in every month between now and either when the bottom hits or the price goes even higher, if I'm averaging in every month throughout 2023, it doesn't much matter anyway, because I'm going to cut that $7,000 difference down significantly over time, given there's going to be volatility in the price over the course of this year until we reach the halving. So this is a very comfortable time to start averaging in my opinion. Much better than when I did. I started averaging back in when Cardano was 50 cents. So I mean, I could go in and double everything for half the cost, and I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty happy with that. Well, not really now. It's back in like 30 cents, but I do believe it's going to go lower, and I'm expecting to see a Cardano price in the teens. Why do I believe that? You know, this is another quick idea, another quick thought. Because when Cardano, but back in the last bear market, Cardano's bottom was 2 cents, folks. It went from 2 cents to $3.40 something cents in one bull cycle. We're down into the 30 cents. We've hit in the 20s, right? And that's all fine and dandy. But given the fact that Cardano's use case and adoption still hasn't reached a point where it's truly coming over top of Ethereum, we see Ethereum is like $4,000, you know, for a long run. And I know it peaked higher than that, but it dropped to like 4,000. A lot of what I did with my Ethereum was when it was around $4,000. Now it's sitting at around 1,200, 1,300, hasn't even dropped into the triple digits yet. There's really not that much of a reason for that. My point is that I'll feel a lot better and I'll feel a lot more comfortable calling a bottom once Cardano is hit in the double digits or in the teens. I'm sorry. And because the adoption for Cardano just isn't at a position that would justify a bottom price somewhere in the 25 to 30 cent range. It doesn't make sense yet to me. And listen, you know, I'm the biggest Cardano believer on YouTube. I have been since inception. I was the only people talking about it. I was the only people reading the information and the reports and the papers and the white papers and everything else. Nobody else cared. Everyone was fudding it. So you know I'm a believer. It's not me trying to drop FUD so I could buy my Cardano cheaper. I don't care what you do. I'm going to get it cheaper because I believe what I believe based off of information I see and look at pretty much every day. So it doesn't matter what you do. You go out and buy a whole big old bag right now, it's not going to affect me one bit. I don't need to FUD the price of anything to get it cheaper if I believe it's going down for a multitude of reasons. Listen, for those of you out there that are loaded up, you're holding on big bags you accumulated at much higher prices, I hope for your sake the bottom is in. Either way, I'm going to do fine. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, but I'm definitely one to believe that the bottom is not yet in, and it will be happening sometime in 2023. But here's the thing, and this is also one other point you should consider. In 2023, your whole world's likely going to get flipped upside down. So will mine. We're going to see so many dramatic changes in the crypto space, as well as the traditional markets, that I think it's going to catch a lot of people by storm. And I don't think really people understand everything that's going on in the world right now and why. And until you do, it's going to be very difficult for you to wrap your head around why I don't believe the bottom is in. So I suggest you go watch some people like Mark Moss, who I absolutely love Mark Moss and what he does. There are a lot of people out there that are sharing really, really good information as pertaining to what's happening in the world. You got to find them. And here's the thing. I don't care if you're right or left. It's time to open your eyes and start really paying attention to what's happening. So many of us are being used as pawns for political games and political gains, and it's not in favor of us. I don't care what you think. So take your political sides out of the equation and start looking at the bigger picture, because until you're able to zoom out and stop staring at the lock on a door, being angry that it's there, zoom out and take a look at what the lock is actually for. Is it keeping you in, or is it keeping you out of something? Those are the questions you really need to start answering. And listen, I hope this finds you well. I will likely not be doing videos this weekend, as I will be away briefly, but I will be back tomorrow with another video. And until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you soon.